If you're a founder, hearing no from an investor, well, it can feel like you've just hit a brick wall at full speed. But what if that no isn't the end of the road? What if it's actually the secret key to unlocking your company's real potential? Today, we're going to break down how to turn that rejection into your most powerful tool for growth.
You know the feeling. You've poured your heart and soul into the pitch, you've prepped, you've practiced, you believe in this thing more than anything, and then you hear those three little words. It's a no. Oof. It stings. It's a universal moment of defeat for every founder out there.
But this is where we flip the script. Because what if that rejection isn't just noise? What if it's actually a powerful signal, a super rare chance to see your own business from a perspective you just can't get when you're on the inside looking out?
To get there, we're going to walk through a simple 5-step framework I call the feedback funnel. First up, it's all about mindset, seeing that no as an opportunity. Then we get tactical. How do you find the real signal in all that feedback, especially when VCs are telling you opposite things? After that, we'll structure it so you know what to do next, turn those insights into real change, and then the final crucial step, closing the loop to build trust for the long game.
Okay, first things first. We have to completely change how we think about investors. Their feedback isn't some judgment on what you've done wrong. Think of it as a free blueprint for your future.
The game has totally changed. Investors aren't just walking wallets anymore. A good modern VC brings a ton of hard-won experience to the table. They've seen hundreds of companies, just like yours, navigate the exact same challenges. So when one tells you your pricing model is off, they're not just guessing. They are pattern matching against 10 other startups they saw fail for that very reason. That kind of insight is pure strategic gold.
And really, that's what this is all about. Their external point of view. Look, you're way too close to your own business. We all are, right? It's like staring at a document for hours and completely missing the huge typo on the very first line. An investor comes in with fresh eyes and might immediately spot the fatal flaw in your user acquisition strategy that you've been totally blind to. Their perspective is an absolutely invaluable stress test.
Okay, so you're open to the feedback. Great. But, and this is a big but, not all feedback is created equal. Some of it is gold, and some of it is just noise. The real challenge is figuring out which is which, especially when you're getting conflicting advice from different VCs.
So here's the filter you need to run everything through. A signal, it's a pattern. It's the same concern you hear from 3 different investors in 3 different meetings. That's what we call consensus feedback. Now, it might make you uncomfortable because it's probably pointing to a real blind spot, but it still fits with your core mission. Noise, on the other hand, is that one-off opinion. The one investor who tells you to pivot into a market that contradicts all of your data and your company's DNA. Your job is to hunt for the consensus. That's the signal that's pointing you to a genuine issue or a massive opportunity.
So you found the signal. Awesome. But let's be real. You can't act on everything at once. You need a system to prioritize where you're going to spend your most valuable resources, your team's time, and your company's energy.
And for that, this is probably my favorite tool in the world, the impact versus effort matrix. It's so simple, but it is so powerful. You plot every piece of feedback on here. Top left, high impact, low effort. Oh yeah, those are your quick wins. You should have done them yesterday. Tweaking your pitch deck messaging based on feedback is a perfect example. Top right, high impact, high effort. Those are your big strategic projects. They need a real plan. And anything that's low impact, you get to it when you can, or even better, you give yourself permission to just ignore it. This framework forces you to be strategic, not just busy.
Prioritizing is one thing, but execution, well, that's everything, isn't it? Now we have to take those insights we've prioritized and actually weave them into the fabric of the company.
And look, we're not just talking about tiny tweaks here. Did an investor question your user acquisition costs? That's not just feedback for your pitch deck. That's a direct challenge for your marketing team to solve. Did they raise a red flag about customer churn? That's something your product team needs to own, like right now. This is a tool for making the entire organization smarter and more resilient.
But here's the catch. An insight without an owner is just an interesting idea. For any of this to turn into real results, someone on your team has to be responsible for it. They need a clear action plan with milestones you can actually measure. You know, accountability is the bridge between a great idea and a great outcome. Without it, even the best feedback in the world is just a forgotten Post-it note.
All right, this brings us to the final step. And honestly, this is the one most people skip, and it's a huge mistake. This is how you turn a one-time no into a long-term asset. This is how you build a reputation as a founder people want to back. It's all about closing the loop.
So what does that perfect follow-up email look like? You don't just send a generic, "Thanks for your time." No way. You follow these 4 steps. First, be genuinely grateful. Second, show them you are actually listening by mentioning their specific concerns. And now, here's the magic step. Step 3, share one specific action you've already taken. This shows you're coachable, you're decisive, and you don't waste time. Then, you just ask to keep them updated. Bam! You've just opened the door for a future conversation. I've seen this play out so many times. When you do this, you create this amazing virtuous cycle. You show the investor their time was valuable. They feel heard, which makes them way more likely to stay engaged, maybe offer more advice, or even introduce you to someone else in their network. A founder who closes the loop becomes a founder that investors remember and respect, even if they pass the first time around.
Think about it like this. Research shows that 80% of us are more likely to do business with a company that actually listens to our feedback. Well, investors are no different. At the end of the day, they are investing in people, not just ideas. And showing you can listen, learn, and execute is one of the fastest ways to earn their trust and their respect.
So, let's wrap this all up. That no you got from an investor, it isn't a final judgment on you or your company. It's data. It's a strategic asset just waiting for you to unlock it. The moment you reframe feedback not as something to fear, but as a core part of your growth strategy, that's when you become truly unstoppable. So the only question left to ask is this: which no that you've received is actually an opportunity in disguise? Now go find out.